Today's guest is a force to be reckoned with within the wellness space. Latham Thomas started her career as a doula and has now birthed her own business called Mama Glow. Latham helps guide women through the birthing process, starting at the very beginning with fertility. Well, she's joining us now to discuss the transformative power of womanhood and more. This is Advocate Now. Latham, we're so excited to talk to you today. You are a master birth doula, and you've created an incredible company. It's called Mama Glow to help women reclaim birth. What inspired that?
Mama Glow is a global maternal health and education platform that serves birthing people along the childbearing continuum. And it was really inspired out of the experience that I had birthing my own son, who's 19. And so I was in New York City navigating just like my options for care, and found a midwife, had an incredible birth at the only freestanding birth center in New York City called Elizabeth Seton Childbearing Center. Walked home like 6 hours later and knew that I needed to help protect that experience for other women and birthing people. And so, since then, the company has grown to support people globally with hubs in New York, LA, Miami, and Paris, for training, and then, training over 2,500 doulas, and really just being a space for folks to not only reclaim, birth as a sacred rite of passage, and as a moment of joy, and really like beauty, but also for birth workers to reclaim the work that we've been doing ancestrally to support people as we help them make safe passage into parenthood. And so it's been an honor, obviously, but also a deep joy to do the work and really to help others usher in new life with this in this pathway.
I want to talk about the connection between, physically giving birth and the idea of birthing yourself and transforming into something new. As you've continued to help women transform their lives, have you also felt that transformation yourself?
I mean, I think birth is metaphor for really everything in life, right? I mean, we go through a process of shedding, and reclamation, and of death, and of rebirth. We have cycles that modulate our menses, right? Which models this every month. We have opportunities through the seasons to see this pathway, and so I feel like we're in constant conversation uh, and in dialogue with birth and death all the time. And also, I think it's a when you're in birth work, if you are a doula, you're not just supporting people through birth, but doulas really support people at major life transitions. And so that could be a birth, that could be death, that could be through bereavement, that could be through abortion and loss. And so I'm always sitting at that threshold of supporting people through major change. And I think for my own life, it's helped me to be more just softer, and more pliant, and um, in a space of being able to understand when there's the time to shift or change or move in a direction that I didn't maybe desire, that I can show up to that moment with ease and design support so that I can get through that moment. And that's what doulas help people do, right? Really support them through those moments of difficulty so they get to the other side and feel whole.
As you touched on, Mama Glow offers doula support at all stages of the birthing process, starting with fertility. Why was it important to you to include that in your mission?
Fertility is part of the entire continuum, right? And so, our mission is really to transform the landscape of birth for individuals everywhere. And so, starting with the beginning is really, the fertile period. And so it's supporting people at, where they feel where we have a lack of support. I think, a lot of people move through fertility period not feeling like they have anything to hold on to, no resources, no people, no supports. In this country, in the United States, we've done a really horrible job of ensuring that people have adequate support during difficulty. If you think about fertility period, it's fraught with anxiety. Nobody's there. You think about abortion and loss. Nobody's there. You think about when you have a baby. Nobody's there. And we built systems against caregiving in the United States. And so you need people to kind of hold your hand as you take these steps to claim different aspects of your life, whether it's I want to invite in the energy and the idea of having a baby. Even just having to design your life around making that possible is a shift for many people. And so having support along that journey, we think, is critical. But I don't think I think every stage is critical. I think that if you can have that support, and what we try to do is ensure that people feel seen and heard, feel a sense of belonging as they navigate this time. And so that's really why it's important to us.
There are so many women, unfortunately, who are ashamed of their bodies and of their womanhood, whether consciously or unconsciously. You're shifting the conversation into one of empowerment. How do you find that sense of alignment and peace within your own body?
In our doula training, the first thing that we do in the first week is really walk through a process of helping people decolonize what they've learned about their bodies, helping people reclaim new tools around body literacy. And because you can't really take people to places you've never been, right? And so, in the landscape we're in reproductive health, if we're looking at, navigating a world post Roe, post Dobbs, you have people who are in the streets, that are marching, that are fighting, but can't even name the body parts that they're actually fighting for. And I think it's actually really sad that there are men in rooms who don't even have the anatomy, that are legislating against the anatomy, and we don't even know what anatomy we're reclaiming. Right. And so that's by design. And so it's important to have body literacy be at the foundation of movement building. We have to understand our bodies. We have to understand pathways of pleasure. We have to understand the erectile network, and not just the reproductive system. We have to understand why it is, right, that our bodies are perceived as a threat. And so I think that being comfortable in your body is part of that, because once we can reclaim our bodies as sacred, and we can come home to ourselves, really return home to our bodies, then we also gain this sense of empowerment that is really hard for somebody to take away from you. Right. And so it all comes back to the body. We have to live inside of this thing. Right. And so being kind to yourself, learning your rhythms internally, learning how to listen to your body, learning what pleasure pathways work for you and your body at different stages of life, even different stages of your cycle. And then also listening, because I think that the biggest thing that we've been subjugated to is a system that has really enforced, these stringent male work patterns, right?
Mhm.
Work outside the home as valued, and work inside the home as undervalued.
Mhm.
Undermining and subliminating all of your physical needs, right? And so if I'm bleeding, doesn't matter. I'm going to go to work and like work 12 hours and
Mhm.
commute and whatever, when my body's actually telling me to lay down and relax, right? I'm not going to take care of myself at the expense, my self-care at the expense of everybody else. I'm going to take care of everybody else first. And then I'm going to take care of myself last. Like, these are things that we're taught, right? And so we have to learn to change the way that we engage with our bodies, and change the legacy, right, that we've inherited around around self-care, right, and really center the body as the arbiter of safety, and really learn how to listen. And so part of that is just in the very beginning, we learn how to strip some of these beliefs and some of these patterns, so that we can be more able to listen, right? And um, ready ourselves for really what, not just our body needs, but like how I can show up for community. If I can show up for myself, then I can show up for my clients, my family, my community, my work, right? But I have to take care of myself first.
Latham, thank you so much for all the work you're doing, for sharing your knowledge with us and spending some time with us today. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I'm Sonia Baghdadi. Thanks for watching and advocating. For more stories and content like this, visit advocate.com and advocatechannel.com.